cult. I am not in a cult. People that think they have to defend every single letter or word or sentence of President Trump, if you think that's what you have to do, you are in a cult. I am not in a cult. I elected President Trump. I fought for him and put him in the White House. And again, I'll remind everybody, voted with him 98% of the time, put him in the White House because I believed in America First policies. I don't believe in fighting every foreign war. I do not believe in calling affordability crisis. I don't believe that's a hoax. I don't believe raping 14 and 16-year-olds is a hoax.
Before we get into the video, I wanted to show you a couple of things. These are my old toolboxes. That one, the lid flops off, the handles pop off. And then in here, if you look, we got this little old thing that I built way back in high school with tools all down in there. So let's get in there. Of course, we got these toolboxes right here. I don't know how much you can see in the video. Let me show you what I'm doing. So let me show you what we got. This is the Clean, K-L-E-I-N Tools mod box. And you can get the stackable. And if you look here, it's got the wheels. Now what I'm going to do is get into a tool project, and I'm going to organize my tools in here, and then we're going to always get rid of your old stuff, man. I've been telling you guys, clean out your house, grow a garden, grow a garden. We're going to get into that in just one second. But yeah, this will be nice. Plus it's got the handle. I can roll it around. All right, let's get into the next project real quick. All right, I made a video. I was going to build a wooden tomato trellis rack with strings coming down and everything else. And I found these on Amazon. I don't know how they're going to work out. Anyway, here's more. Don't ever buy these wire racks. Okay, they're useless, although they're good for like peppers or something, which I'm going to get. And then of course, this is the what happens with these wire racks. Put that wire rack in the round as best I could. You can see how big this tomato plant gets. So I'm hoping that with these taller racks over here, that we'll be able to cover that. Let's get around to the garden one second. All right, so this is the garden right here. I've replaced all this soil with black dirt. It's well fertilized. You can see I'm still going to put some more dirt in. I'm going to beef this up just a little bit. By the way, that Clean mailbox can only be bought at Lowe's. I did a lot of research with the AIs, so that's why I knew to buy that one. And what we're going to do, at Lowe's, I was going to buy a tomato plant. My God, they wanted $10 damn for a tomato plant. Now, you can see I'm not too good at growing tomato plants. We've only gotten 2 cherry tomatoes off of that. So by the time I buy the plant for $10, if I only get 2 cherry tomatoes, that's not a very good investment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some pots, and I'm just going to put those racks in here. And I'm going to put seeds down in the, and that's, by the way, I grew that from seed, that plant back there. I just threw the seeds in the ground and all that stuff came up. Those are cucumbers. I've already gotten, well, about 5 good cucumbers, man. They're good too. Oh my God. And so we're just going to try to grow from seed. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to buy these pre-seeded plants. Let's get into the video. Before we do, we'll talk about one last thing. If you've got trees, pull them trees out. I've been pulling all my trees out. There used to be a crepe myrtle behind me. I pulled that out. This is a lemon tree. Look at all those lemons that I'm going to have. My God. So I'm grow a garden, grow your food. I got that crepe myrtle on the side. I'm going to be taking that out one of these days and putting in a fruit tree. If it don't have food on it, it don't grow around my house. Watching the world burn, watching the world burn. August 21st, 2026. Let's get into it. Hey, so before I get into the video, oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. I am the Burn channel on Rumble and on BitChute. And then of course I'm the Burn Report on Telegram. And what's the other channel? Rumble. And then, of course, I'm the real Burn Report on X. I changed my handle from that to Cybersec guy, so they can always find me there. I wanted to talk about a subject I wasn't planning to put in this video, but I saw a video, which I encourage you to watch, between Jimmy Dore and Daniel Davis on Daniel Davis Deep Dive. And I think Jimmy Dore pieced it all together for me as far as to what happened to Trump. Okay, now if we go all the way back, Trump was a draft dodger. He also grew up with a very, very privileged life. So I don't think he developed the morals that maybe your parents instilled in you. I doubt he's ever grown a vegetable in his life. Probably may not have even pumped his own gas. So you can see that, and you know, we know he was in the Epstein files somewhere. But here's my theory based on what Jimmy Dore said today, and the reason why this one hit me. Now, Jimmy Dore says that we are controlled by a small group of oligarchs, which makes sense. He says what you have in the United States is an oligarchy class, you know, like corporate America and everything, over top of the government, and then the government is supposed to be over top of the people. And that makes sense. Whereas in like China, you've got the government over top of their industry and their corporate America. Now, I'm not sure communism is the best way to go, but at least they don't have the oligarchs over top. And then what Jimmy was saying, because I was thinking, how could anybody by the way, the latest numbers from Stas, you know, he's out in Russia. He says we're at about 3 million dead Ukrainians. And if you didn't know, man, Russia is lighting up Ukraine. McGregor said that we hit them with, I want to say, he said 800, 2,000-pound glide bombs. Now, you got to remember those glide bombs. Those aren't just dumb bombs. You know, not like we had in World War II. They're supposedly going in on a target. So that means that Russians had a lot of targets. I mean, you know, but anyway, let's get back to Trump for 1 second. So what clued me in? So what I'm saying is Trump is a coward. Now, we know what happened in Butler, all right? And I don't know if that bullet was meant to kill him or scare him. I don't know how you could clip his ear and not be trying to kill him. So that right there shook Trump up. And I do believe what the oligarchs said to Trump: you run on everything that you want to run on to get elected, and then we'll let you make tons and tons of money, let your family make tons and tons of money, and you'll stay alive. So that's how I think he got into the presidency. But the thing is, you have to do what we tell you to do. All right, so now we get to Charlie Kirk for just 1 second. Charlie Kirk was actually very influential. Trump kind of thought of Charlie as a son type figure. And so Charlie was trying to tell Trump not to go to war with Iran. And even though the oligarchs over Trump were telling him to go to war with Iran. And then, of course, they killed Charlie Kirk in a very public manner. And I think that was to send Trump a signal that, look, you do what we say, or we're going to kill you. Now, that the oligarchs are probably Zionists themselves, okay? So they're either that or they're over the Zionists. How else can you explain the genocide in Gaza and the genocide in Lebanon? And you might as well look at it as a genocide in Ukraine. You know, and these people that have all the money and the power, they don't give a crap. We're going to get into the United States towards the end of the video. All right, so when did it clue me in on Trump? Well, I don't know if you've gotten the story, but over in Turkey, the Israelis told Trump that the Iranians were going to kill him. They were going to blow his plane out of the air, and he fled out of the back of the plane. Now, I got some more information on that. He was with Pete Hegseth, and then he was with this girl. Damn it, I was going to write down her name, and I should have Juliet. Anyway, I won't try to get it. She does all his. She carries a little printer around behind him. I don't know. Everybody's calling her his girlfriend. You know, you haven't seen Melania for a while. And they snuck him into a catering cart and put Trump on a different plane.
Open the door.
Who is it?
This is the Secret Service. Hey, Trump, what are you doing here?
Me? Nothing. Just hanging around.
But what was so appalling was Trump allowed that plane to take off with Caroline Leavitt and all the reporters and everything else as bait. to see if it would get blown out of the air. Well, guess what? Caroline Leavitt, she resigned the next day. Oh my God. Yeah, you don't think she was pissed about being used as bait by Trump? He didn't tell any of them that, because what should have happened was they should have just told everybody, we've had a bomb threat on the plane. It's not, so far it's not a credible source, but we're gonna take you all off, either arrange alternate transportation or make sure that we have verified that this is not a credible threat. And that would have been the way that a non-coward would have handled it. So this whole thing that Jimmy Dore put together explains why Trump has sacrificed the United States to the oligarchs, because the oligarchs only care about money. I would say they're satanic. They don't care about human life whatsoever. Otherwise, they wouldn't have instigated, because Trump had said he was going to get out of the Ukraine war. And it looked like he was working towards that. Remember when he went to Alaska with Putin? I think the oligarchs got to him and said, look, you saw, I don't know if Charlie Kirk was dead at that time or not, but they said, we can kill you anytime. You're going to stay in that Ukraine war so we can make money. Because if you understand, the Rothschilds, they funded World War II. They made a ton of money. Many people thought that they ruled the world, along with some other oligarchs. And war is a very profitable institution for everybody. I mean, how can you explain our obsolete military equipment like aircraft carriers? I had a couple of videos. I was going to talk about the M1 Abrams tank, and I was going to talk about the F-35. Those things were obsolete coming off the row. You see how the missiles have become the new technology, missiles and drones. Who was it? Was it Elon Musk that predicted that? All right, let's get into the video. Oh, by the way, that video up front, wasn't that funny with the guy burning? That was Matt Devitt. He says accurate for Florida. And so that was the video up front. We got Steve Henke. He says, Israel terrorizes Lebanon again and again. Israel destroyed Bani, Hayyan, Lebanon. Israel continues to destroy its reputation. Slavik Krpanovic, and the damage to the region in Nova caused by. So we got a video of a bomb exploding. Let's put that in right here.
О, нихуя себе. Я это тоже снял, да. Но это мощная хуйня. О, еще летит. Пух нахуй. Я это тоже снял.
All right. So we've got, oh man, I'm telling you, something bit me on my arm, it's itching. We got NATO's proxy is a systemic depopulation event and will cost Russia $250 billion to rebuild. But when Russia starts to write those checks, the land is coming back. So all the land that Russia has taken, they're actually doing a really good job of rebuilding it. If you could see Mariupol now, it's a functioning city. I mean, that place was completely destroyed back when they took it a couple of years ago. So Russia's getting to be like China. They can put a city up in just a couple of years. Anyway, let's look at what, because this is a city that they're destroying right now. Let's watch that video now. All right, let's keep going with the notes. Sorry, damn it, something bite me on my cheek. If you didn't know, I had to do a local hike. They kept predicting 100% chance of rain all day. Never rained one time. Yesterday, 30% chance of rain. Major thunderstorm came through. I thought my house was going to rock off the foundation because the lightning was hitting so close. Yeah, anyway. Hey, by the way, I wanted to talk about the weather forecast for just 1 second. There was if you go up on Grok or even any AI, ChatGPT, and say, what are the best weather apps for my my Samsung phone, whatever you got, 25, 23, 24, 26, and it gave me some open source weather reports. You know, so I used to use like AccuWeather or weather.com, and they would always pop up ads and spy on me, and I always had to reset the settings. And then, so the AI, now, it wasn't easy getting them installed. The directions were somewhat involved, so it'd take you a good entire evening, maybe watching TV, to sit there. I just take the notes and I cut and paste them, and then I work through them. But anyway, there's the radar app. There was weather. I can't remember the names of them. So I put 3 apps on the phone, and man, I'm telling you, I'm getting pretty good weather information from all 3 of those apps. I love having the radar. And then, of course, on the TV, I have 2 apps, Weather Now and Weather for Us, which usually, that's the one that gave me the 100% chance of rain when we didn't get it. So Weather Now is, it's, you know, it gives you an idea of what the day might be. All right, breaking. Israel has dropped a new type of bomb on Gaza. Palestinians describe it as a mini nuclear bomb, but analysis suggests it's likely a thermobaric vacuum weapon. If you didn't know, that's a gas. It comes spiraling down, and then you ignite it, and the explosion is tremendous. It is a small nuclear explosion, so I don't know what he's talking about. Without the radiation, let's just put it that way. But Israel is violating international law with Trump's backing. So you know why Trump is doing that. I think I've already explained that to you. At least that's my theory as to why Trump is doing these things. Anyway, that bomb, it might be getting down to those Hamas caves. I know it's killing a lot of Palestinians. I tell you what, Israel will be done soon exterminating the Palestinians. There can't be that many of them left. Oh, this is just a fun video. I want to just talk about this video. Russia's rhythmic, RHYTHMIC, not sure how to pronounce that, gymnastics team wins world championship gold on its return to the international stage, with Maria Borisova also taking 3 individual bronzes, and Sofia Ilterakova, so Altarakova, silver. And we're going to play that video just because I thought it was fun. Look at these young girls. I mean, I can't believe, if I ever had a daughter, I would love to see her this athletic. And how in the hell, I mean, watch the balls that they throw up in the air and the wands and all kinds of crazy shit. And they never made an error one time. Let's watch that video now.
Russia's gymnasts burst back onto the international stage this weekend, showing zero signs of a 5-year layoff. The team dominated the weekend, winning both the Women's World Rhythmic and European Artistic Championships. On the global stage, starlet Maria Borisova wowed crowds in Frankfurt. The 19-year-old helped steer the team to first place in the all-around team event. Here's a look at that stunning return to action.
Russian rhythmic gymnasts have won gold medals in the team event at their first World Championships after a 5-year hiatus. At the tournament in Germany, the national team scored 278.3 points, besting the teams from Bulgaria and China. For the gymnasts, this World Championships was the first of their careers. The winning team included European Championship medalist and World Cup stage champion Maria Borisova, European hoop champion Sofia Ilterakova, as well as the Russian group exercises team from St. Petersburg, who had previously placed second at the Russian Championships: Irina Lavronova, Elisa Yeremeva, Anna Nikolaeva, Sofia Solonskaya, Agata Bergzai, and Daria Melnik. The team's total score was tallied by combining the individual performances of Borisova and Ilterakova with the group exercises in qualification. Borisova became the only gymnast at the World Championships to qualify for all 4 individual apparatus finals: hoop, ball, clubs, and ribbon. Following the all-round final, she placed in the top 5. In the individual finals, Maria Borisova won 3 bronze medals, while Sofia Iltarikova took silver. At the same time, in some disciplines, the gap between the Russian gymnasts and their competitors was minimal. For instance, in the clubs event, Maria Borisova finished with the same number of points as the silver medalist, losing out on the highest spot only because of the additional scoring that broke the tie. All the gymnasts are members of the primary Russian national squad. Maria Borisova lives and trains at the Elena Kabaeva Sky Grace Rhythmic Gymnastics Academy. The group exercises team trains in St. Petersburg at the Pearl Rhythmic Gymnastics Center. For the competition, the gymnasts were coached by Irina Gusarova, Natalia Glemba, and Yelena Petunina, choreographers Yekaterina Belova and Yekaterina Sergeyeva, and routine designer Yelena Afanasieva. Elena Kabaeva personally congratulated the gymnasts on their victory at the championship. Following the competition, the Russian Gymnastics Federation announced that with this victory, the Russian national team begins its journey on the world stage with a clean slate, and that the gold medals are not an end result, but merely the start of a new chapter.
Wasn't that crazy? Who has that much talent? I don't think there's anything in life I ever had that much talent. Oh my God, that was a hell of a video. So this is RT again. We got India's Ranjun Shamara reports from Afghanistan 5 years after the Taliban takeover. Look at the country's security, struggling economy, and the impact of sanctions on ordinary Afghans. Now, one of the things in life, reason why I wanted this video in my video, was that the event of us pulling out of Afghanistan and the way we went about it, killing 13 Americans, and those people falling off the planes. Of course, I'm old enough that I actually remember Vietnam somewhat when they were falling off the planes there. You know, I wasn't that old at that time, but so for us to repeat the same thing over and over again, it just, you know, it's that saying, you know, you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, you know, don't do the same thing, or whatever that was. Anyway, so look at these guys. They're all walking around with U.S. military equipment. Everybody looks happy. Now, I'm sure maybe the Taliban, they might be doing some authoritarianism out in the different places. But let's watch this video on Afghanistan, because this has a special place in my heart. I've never been so upset at the Veterans Association here, or the American Legion, or the VFW, and that everybody just ignored this. Let's watch that video.
Now, events marking 5 years of Taliban leadership are being held in Afghanistan. Well, locals could be seen waving the new government's flag and carrying arms that US troops left behind. In 2021, Washington hastily pulled its forces out of Afghanistan, ending its near 2-decade-long presence in the nation. The operation failed to evacuate close to 1,000 American citizens and Afghan visa holders. RT's Ranjun Sharma reports from Kabul.
5 years ago, the Taliban returned to power and took over Afghanistan. They call it Fateh, a day of victory, and you can see what it looks like.
Kabul city celebrate that day. A flag of Afghanistan, right? La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. All people celebrate that day.
Thousands of Talib men have gathered around the city of Kabul, American weapons in their hands, flags of Islamic Emirates everywhere, and chants of defiance. Surprise, surprise, many of them outside the former US embassy.
5 years ago, on this day, the Taliban retook control in Afghanistan after a very sudden, very chaotic withdrawal of the Western forces from the country. It was, in fact, America's longest war with a very bitter ending. You remember those visuals of the last plane leaving from the Bagram Air Base and people really trying to cling onto it. Since then, a lot has changed in Afghanistan. I've been traveling across the country to find out how people have adjusted to the new reality, the people who are living under the rule of the Taliban government that does remain largely unrecognized by the world. The economy is not in a very good shape, and the sanctions on the country, the sanctions on Taliban, but also on the banking systems does not help people of this land. And then there are sanctions on the Taliban, on the banking sector, the frozen assets that don't help matters at all. The war is over, though the country's largely become safe, but there's a lot of nuance, a lot of layers to the Taliban story, which you will find in my upcoming reports.
All right. So this is Spence 077 or Alex Olayidi 2. He says, ballistic strikes on Kiev. The city is left without air defense systems, yet Zelensky chooses to poke Putin in drone attacks on Moscow, which all failed, but there are consequences. And we got a video of those missiles striking Kiev. Got to get our war porn, right? Let's watch that now. All right, so now we got RT again. You know, I'm sorry, you can't get, I mean, you have to understand, CBS, ABC, NBC, TikTok, they're all owned by the Zionists, okay? You're not going to get any news except for what the Zionists want you to see, or the CIA or the federal government. So you got to go to alternate news sources, which would be YouTube channels or RT or India. India does pretty good news. Sky News out of Australia reports some factual stuff every now and then. I'm just giving you a few. Don't ever watch the BBC. You're not going to get any good information there. They're worse than CNN. All right, so hundreds of Saudi officers and commanders killed and injured in Houthi attacks. Spokesman Shari announces after laying out the three-point equation. You got 12 plus Saudi warships sunk and burned, 94 ships blocked from crossing the regional airways. Now, if you want to fast forward through this video, it's 3.5 minutes long. But I don't think that anybody in the Middle East knows that there's still wars going on. You know, you've got the war with Yemen and Saudi Arabia, and Yemen and other Yemenese forces. And then you've got Israel exterminating the Lebanese, and they're still exterminating the people in Gaza. And I had two videos. I was going to show them to you here. You know, if you didn't know, Israel just bombed Syria to break up a meeting between Turkey and Syrian representatives to talk about, I don't know what they were talking about, peace plans or something. And one report said that Israel killed two of the Turkey negotiators. Now, I haven't found anybody else that has said that. Most people have said that nobody was killed. And then I had two videos. I had one that showed a video saying that Turkey was moving a lot of military equipment down to Syria. I mean, if we really did kill two of their negotiators, that's an act of war. Boy, I tell you, Israel, they're like, what's that mad little, they're a honey badger? The honey badger, they're like honey badgers, man. They want war on Syria. They want war on Iran. They want war on Lebanon. They want war with Turkey. And then, of course, they want Americans to die for it all. I don't know why the American people put up with all this, but whatever. But this is 3.5 minutes long. It's just translated. It's not in English. Let's watch that now.
وفرضنا على هذا العدو المجرم 3 معادلات رئيسية اليوم، وهذه من نعمة الله علينا أن أصبح الشعب اليمني اليوم وقواته المسلحة في هذه القوة التي مكنها الله منها أن تفرض على الأعداء المعادلات. يعني عندما كان الأعداء هم من يقتلونا وهم من يدمرون شعبنا وهم من يفعلون بنا كل شيء في المراحل الماضية منذ عام 2015 وإلى اليوم، واليوم نفرض عليهم المعادلات، وواجهنا الأمريكي والإسرائيلي وانتصرنا عليهم بفضل الله. اليوم فرضنا عليهم 3 معادلات. المعادلة الأولى الحصار بالحصار، مقابل الحصار الذي يفرضه علينا العدو السعودي فرضنا عليه حصارا في البحر الأحمر، وبفضل الله أنه أصبح حصارا محكما لا يستطيع السعودي تمرير سفينة واحدة، وهذا من فضل الله علينا. والنقطة الثانية أو المعادلة الثانية التي فرضتها قواتنا المسلحة اليوم معادلة ضرب التحشيدات السعودية أينما كانت، ونحن نشاهد بفضل الله وبركة الله هذه الضربات. المعادلة الثالثة، أصبحنا اليوم نحمي سيادة اليمن ونحمي أجواء اليمن من أي اختراق سعودي لبلدنا، وأصبحنا بفضل الله أمام أي اختراق نضرب الأعداء بضربات منكلة. ولذلك فإنه بفضل الله سبحانه وتعالى نقدم إحصائية مختصرة عن هذه المرحلة تنفيذا لمعادلة الحصار بالحصار، ومنذ إعلان قرار الحظر الذي أعلنته القوات المسلحة اليمنية بحظر الملاحة البحرية على العدو السعودي في 20 من يوليو الماضي حتى يومنا هذا 19 من أغسطس، تمكنت قواتنا المسلحة بفضل الله من استهداف 8 سفن نفطية التي تم استهدافها بشكل مباشر، 5 منها في البحر الأحمر و3 منها في خليج عدن والبحر العربي، فيما تم منع 48 سفينة نفطية سعودية من العبور وإجبارها على العودة بفضل الله، منها 34 سفينة تم منعها من العبور في البحر العربي والمحيط الهندي، و14 سفينة تم منعها من العبور في البحر الأحمر. وفي المعادلة الثانية في إطار الرد على العدوان السعودي على مطار صنعاء الدولي وميناء الحديدة، وتثبيتا لمعادلة حماية السيادة اليمنية من الاختراقات لأجواء بلدنا وخصوصا في محافظتي صعدة وحجة، فقد نفذت القوات المسلحة بفضل الله سبحانه وتعالى 9 عمليات عسكرية توزعت على ينبع ونجران وجيزان وأبها وإمدادات النفط من المنطقة الشرقية. وكان من أبرز هذه العمليات العملية التي أتت ردا على العدوان على ميناء الحديدة، وكانت بفضل الله بعشرات الصواريخ والمسيرات. وفي إطار أيضا تثبيت المعادلة الثالثة، معادلة استهداف التحشيدات السعودية أينما كانت، فقد تمكنت قواتنا المسلحة بفضل الله ونفذت 14 عملية عسكرية نوعية استهدفت التحشيدات التابعة للعدو السعودي في منطقة الرويك والعبر والوديعة ومأرب والمخا، وسفن وزوارق نقل معدات وتحشيدات تابعة للعدو السعودي. وكان من نتائجها ما يلي: مصرع وإصابة المئات من تحشيدات العدو السعودي بينهم قادة وضباط سعوديون، إحراق وتدمير عدد كبير من المخازن والمعدات التابعة لتحشيدات العدو السعودي، إغراق وإحراق سفينتي إنزال عسكرية كانت تنقل الأسلحة والتحشيدات السعودية إلى المخا، إحراق وإغراق أكثر من 10 زوارق حربية تابعة لتحشيدات العدو السعودي كانت تقوم بأعمال قرصنة وتقطع ونهب في البحر الأحمر بتوجيهات سعودية. هذا كله بفضل الله، كل هذه العمليات بفضل الله نفذت بعشرات الصواريخ والمسيرات وبأعداد لم يكن العدو يتوقعها.
All right, I hope that didn't bore you too much, but I don't know if you watched what he said, but at least it told you what was going on. Let's get into South Korea. This is a hell of a story. So South Korea said no, and Donald Trump responded by ordering a substantial reduction in U.S.-South Korea military exercises. In this new Lego political rap, we take a satirical look at Trump's claim that he had very, very good relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. His decision to scale back the All-Chi Freedom Shield exercises and South Korea's refusal to join his efforts concerning Iran. If you didn't know, Trump was upset. I guess South Korea has one ship, and they didn't send it to help Trump with Iran, and so he was pissed about that. So he wanted South Korea to pay the United States. I tell you what, he wants everybody to pay, but he wanted them to pay, $10 billion, I think, in reparations for not helping the United States in our war with Iran, our chosen war, our war of aggression, our war that was for no reason, whatever. So South Korea said no. Let's watch that Lego video now. It's self-explanatory.
Hold up. South Korea said no to Trump's Iran plan.
So what does Donnie do?
He cuts back the drills that protect South Korea from Kim Jong-un because he has a very good relationship with Kim. Wait.
What?
Monday morning, Ultra Freedom Shield was due to start. Then Sunday night, Donnie decided to play his part, substantially reduce it. Too late to cancel. A last-minute order from the commander-in-chief's castle. 18,000 South Korean troops in the plan. U.S. forces and allies defending the land. And what makes this move so hard to explain? North Korea's learning from Ukraine's battlefield game. Drones, GPS jamming, cyber attacks too. They're bringing those lessons back.
So what does Trump do?
You think you train harder, prepare for the storm, but Donnie says Kim's been perfectly warm.
South Korea said no.
Not your ear in war, bro.
Donnie says Kim and me, we have a great relationship, you see.
Good relationship
With Kim Jong-un.
or you're just afraid of him.
South Korea said no.
And suddenly the drills get low. And just hours before the exercises begin, Donnie pulls the handbrake. Where do we begin? That's not strategy, that's flying by the seat. An amateur hour with the world at your feet. And of course your warhound. Wait, you're what Chihuahua, Pete Hegseth.
Yeah. Won't ask why.
When Daddy says,
Ta-da!
cut the drills.
Yes, sir.
Ask questions?
No, sir.
But this ain't a playground, this ain't Donnie's game. Millions depend on decisions made in his name. You can't run the alliance like a family affair and call every warning something nobody should care.
Here's the part you might not know. North Korean troops have been learning as they go. More than 14,000 reportedly fought in Ukraine, testing drones and battlefield tactics in the rain.
They've learned from Russia, then brought lessons home. So the threat isn't frozen in the Cold War zone. The drills were redesigned to meet what's brand new. GPS disruption, cyber warfare too. Military leaders said the threat has changed, and this year's exercise was built around that range. So while the generals say the battlefield evolved,
Donnie says I like him, problem solved. South Korea said no.
not sure, ear in war, bro.
Donnie says Kim and me, we have a great relationship, you see.
Good relationship
With Kim Jong-un.
or you're just afraid of him.
South Korea said no.
But Donnie says,
I know.
and South Korea wasn't the only one to say,
We're not signing up for your earring campaign today.
when Washington wanted allies around Hormuz, several long-standing partners said,
Not us.
Germany, Britain, Japan, Australia, Spain, Italy, and others wouldn't jump on the train. Not because they hate America, get the distinction. They questioned the war and resisted the mission.
Tariffs on the table.
Military support threatened.
Still they said no.
When the pressure was heightened, you can threaten your allies, you can squeeze and demand, but cooperation isn't something you command.
Maybe the lesson isn't that America stands alone.
Maybe the lesson is
that America's allies still know how to say no. South Korea said no.
And the whole world heard the echo.
You can call Kim a friend.
You can cut the
drills again.
You can tell us everything's under control, but when allies start walking while you're shouting,
Go! Maybe somebody ought to ask,
why are they
saying no?
No?
Good relationship
with Kim Jong-un, or you're just afraid of him?
Mr. President,
the world is not rejecting supporting America. They always have. They're rejecting you.
All right, we're just about on the last page. I might think of some things on the way back. All right, hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we're gonna get into a couple more songs. I know we got a lot of music in this video, but I wanted to put my video in here. I was gonna put a Trump destroyed the world video. Let's talk about that before we get into my song. People, if you didn't know, gas prices are going up. It's been staying steady at $5.50 diesel, but what I'm seeing on the markets, the future markets, we're going to have some really high gas prices coming up, and that means everything, all your groceries and everything, are going to go through the roof. And right now, from what somebody said, China and Japan are unloading our treasuries. The whole world's unloading our treasuries. I understand this is a debt-based system, and we just crossed $14 trillion in debt. I mean, I don't think the world, if it manages to survive and the oligarchs don't destroy it with a nuclear war, I don't think the world will ever see another $14 trillion debt in the history of the world. But once all this, and by the way, if you didn't know, was it Steve Bennett? Is that the Treasury Secretary? He was trying to buy back treasuries by, I don't know, he was borrowing the money. So this is I just want to give you an example. This is like using one credit card to pay off another credit card. So he was buying back treasuries, and so many people cashed in their treasuries that he ran out of money. So he had to go back and borrow more money or print more money. Print. But what do you think that's doing to the dollar, huh? Anyway, so yeah, I do think within the next, I thought it was going to be about 2030 before all this stuff really hit the fan. But I'm predicting now, but maybe less than a month, 2 months, 3 months, somewhere around there, you're going to see a major financial crisis here in the United States. If you didn't know, the stock market went down 700 points. Last I looked, silver sitting at about 68. Gold is approaching 5,000 again. So, you know, you do you. I'd be getting some assets and growing a garden like I showed you in the front. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about, before we get into my song, let's talk about the election for just 1 second. So if you didn't know, the elections are obviously rigged. Okay, we put Byron Donalds, who's a avowed Zionist, in, and then there was a woman up near Tallahassee, which is the capital of Florida, and she switched different districts. She was in District 19, and she switched over, a white woman now, she switched over to District 20. Now, I don't know, you probably don't know who Sabby Sass is, but she's got a YouTube channel, and I watch her from time to time. She's a cute little black girl, really smart. And so she was going on, and she said, because this is almost an all-black district, and they elected a white woman Zionist as their representative. And she was like, how in the hell do black people vote in a white woman Zionist who's, and by the way, she doesn't even live in the district. Oh my God. So this is why we have no representation in government, because people elect stupid people. Now, I will defend the people of Florida, okay? Because what the Zionists do is they'll run, if we get a good candidate that'll run against one of these Zionists, like Byron Donalds, for example, because that was their chosen candidate, all right? Let's say we got another candidate that's challenging him pretty good, going up in the polls. They'll go out and find 2 people, or 3 or 4 or whatever, and they'll pay them a ton of money and say, we want you to get into the election, and they'll give them a bunch of money for their campaigns so that they'll split up the secondary vote. Because you're always going to have stupid old people, the boomers, that are going to vote for the Zionist, because that's all they've known all their life. So Byron Donalds was going to get a certain number of votes no matter what. Well, if you took all 3 of the candidates that were running against Byron Donalds and combined them together, the alternate candidate that I wanted would have actually won the election if he had been the only candidate in the election. So I give the people of Florida credit. We would have gotten the right guy in there, had just the odds were stacked, or the election was rigged, in my opinion. So let's get into the video now. This is called The Devil. Even the devil flees Washington, D.C. This is an old song I wrote, I don't know, 8 months ago or so. And I just thought it was appropriate because the next song, you may or may not want to watch it. Let's watch that Devil Flees Washington, D.C.
The devil went down to D.C. He was looking for a soul to claim. He was in a bind cause the swamp was deep, and the grift was running wild like flame. When he came across this crooked town, politicians wheeling day and night, shaking hands and pocketing cash in the shadow of the Capitol's light. The devil stepped up touch Washington, D.C. The devil tuned his fiddle, sparks flying from the bow, played a tune so foul the monuments shook. Lobbyists twirled, senators leered wide, but the swamp just laughed and swallowed his hook. Now the files are out, Epstein's dark list, names dropping like flies from the island mist. Clinton and Trump, Andrew and Moore, flying on jets to that pedo shore. Satanic whispers in the halls of power, pedophile rings in the government tower, blackmail and bribes, young souls for sale. The devil's shocked at the depth of this hell. Hell having the laws, redacting the names, but the swamp makes hell look tame. Lobbyists calling, got a huge pride to share. Senators smiling like they just don't care. They'll sell your future if the donor's right. Pocketing billions in the pale moonlight. The whole damn swamp's a satanic spree. Even the devil flees Washington, D.C. Then BB came to town, Netanyahu in his prime. Jet lands in D.C., Congress stands in line. He steps to the podium, speech sharp as a blade. Lawmakers leap up, ovations cascade. 55 times they rise to their feet, clapping and cheering, kissing his seat. Democrats and Republicans, both sides unite, bowing and scraping in the Capitol light. The hunt his wants, ignore the Clydes, kiss his ring while the taxpayers sigh. The devil watches, jaw on the floor. This swamp's got a new overlord. Deep in D.C. where the Potomac seethes black, vipers in suits with their shadow packs, clutching power with a serpent's grip, taking your freedom in a crooked flip. They're running the town like a big old scam, corrupt to the core, don't give a damn. Trump's fierce gaze in a portrait stark lights the swamp with a devil's spark. Epstein's ghost on the marbled halls, flight logs screaming the midnight calls. Lobbyists calling, got a huge bribe to share. Senators smiling like they just don't care. They'll sell your future if the donor's right, pocketing billions in the pale moonlight. The whole damn swamp's a satanic spree. Even the devil flees Washington, D.C. The pedal bowed low, his fiddle dim low. You've outdone me here, your darkness wins the show. With Epstein's rot, Denby's throne, DC's evil's deeper than I've ever known. Yeah, the devil flees BC.
All right, so the next song, it's up to you. All right, this was the Dipster, And he wrote this song, the piece of shit song. And so in the song, he says the word S-H-I-T quite a few times. And if that offends you, you probably don't want to watch this video. But the video is very true. Now, the only thing that I didn't get in the video is why he put DeSantis in there. Now, I don't know if DeSantis is a Zionist or not. He might be, for all I know. Oh, by the way, most of the people in the primaries that won were Zionists. There are very few non-Zionist people. If you didn't know, the AIPAC lobby is just one Israeli lobby. They have about 50 that contribute to the candidates. So it's awful hard to run as a non-Zionist candidate. Let's see, but the truth cannot be divided. I couldn't fit every politician bought by the evil foreign country into the video, but most of you already know the number is around 90% of our government. I hope this song video makes people actually think about what's happening in this country. And let's get back to Charlie Kirk for just 1 second. If you didn't know, he was also, not only was he trying to talk Trump out of the Iran war, he was also telling the Israeli Zionist lobby that he didn't want to represent them in his organization anymore. You make of that what you will. Let's watch the video right now.
I am a piece of shit. There comes a time when we must face the truth. We took the money and we sold the youth. We can't go on pretending this is right. We put another country first every night. We are the ones who sign the bills and smile, while our own people struggle all the while. There's a choice we're making, and we made it clear. Their interests come first. Year after year, we are a piece of shit. We are a piece of shit. We take the cash from AIPAC every day. We put their flag above the USA. We are a piece of shit. Oh, we are a piece of shit. God bless Israel. Shabbat Shalom. And God bless the money we take home. We can't pretend that we don't know the score. We sell the wars and then we ask for more.
We read the talking points they send our way, then stand up tall and say what they want us to say.
We get ourselves rich while the district goes broke. We call it shared values and laugh at the joke. We place our hands upon that ancient wall, then fly back home and answer every call. We are a piece of shit. Oh, we are a piece of shit. We take the cash from AIPAC every day. We put their flag above the USA. We are a piece of shit.
Oh, we are a piece of shit.
God bless Israel.
Shabbat Shalom.
And God bless the money we take home. When we see the checks clear, we feel no shame.
When the primary comes, we play the same game.
We know exactly what this is. We just don't care. As long as the next contribution's there.
We are a piece of shit.
We
are a piece of shit.
Everybody knows it. Nobody quits.
We all take the money.
We all play the game. and the system protects it. Thank you, AIPAC. Thank you for the opportunity.
God bless Israel.
Shabbat Shalom.
And God bless our retirement accounts.
Okay, so we are watching the world burn together at the Burn channel on Rumble and BitChute, the Burn Report channel on YouTube and Telegram, and the real Burn Report on X. That's the new channel, the real, or not the, it's just real Burn Report. Real Burn Report on X. Peace out, stay free. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button and subscribe. All right.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when under oath he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins, once again revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth. Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence community enabled him to assume three key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded using taxpayer dollars, all of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions. Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying that he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID. Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony. Now, we received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not. The message was clear: go along or be punished. Senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized, self-serving leaders like Dr. Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
All right, three more things. One were the bond yields. I forgot to talk about that for 2 seconds. We did talk about the dying dollar, which I think is going to come down here pretty quick. But yeah, the 10-year bond, it's getting damn near 5%. Now, what people are saying, I'm not an expert, they're saying if it goes over 5, that's it. We can't pay our debt. We're going to have to default on the debt. I have no idea what that means. But I've seen other countries, like I said, I was in Brazil during their hyperinflation. So it's not a fun time to live, but I think that's where we're going. And then, of course, the 30-year bond is between 5 and 5.5. I think I was wanting to say it's about 5.3, and that's the highest it's been in like 80 years. So you can see where. And then, of course, you had Steve Bannon. He came out today. He goes, I don't know why gas prices are so high. Either he's a liar or he's dumber than a bag of stones. Yeah, you know, it's called the Hormuz Strait and the war with Iran. That's where you got to go. But anyway, I did forget to tell you that Trump says he's going to put bone-crushing sanctions on secondary Iranian assets. Now, China has already told him to go screw himself. But Pakistan, which actually takes money from the United States, well, they will until it don't exist no more. And so they might go along with the secondary sanctions. And then you got India. India might go along with the secondary sanctions. So it's not like it's not going to hurt. And of course, you got the UAE. I don't know how much money Iran has left at the UAE. So your secondary sanctions might hurt Iran there, but they're still going to be able to trade perfectly well with Russia and then perfectly well with China. And of course, North Korea and, you know, a lot of other nations, Indonesia, you name it. And Iran's been working for, 47 years now under sanctions in the United States. So I really don't think Trump's bone-crushing sanctions. And by the way, he keeps saying that the United States owns the Strait of Hormuz. He says, I think I'm going to rename it the United States Strait of Hormuz. Well, if we own the Strait of Hormuz, what's the purpose of the sanctions, Trump? See how he contradicts himself? And people go along with this crap. I don't get it. Peace out. Stay free. Oh, one last thing. Boy, I'm going to hate putting all these clips together. But somebody pointed this out. I thought this was a good... If you didn't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Jack Kemp, I don't know, it's a whole table full of people. They said they're going to try to form a third party. Well, Elon said he was going to form a third party. Remember, he's going to do America First way back when. I guess the oligarchs got to him. He's saying, well, who could be richer than Elon Musk? I mean, you could consider Elon an oligarch, I guess, but he certainly gave us X, which, by the way, a lot of people are saying that X is censored pretty hard right now. Anyway, and by the way, Tucker Carlson and who else was it? Well, I know Marjorie Taylor Greene and a couple of other people also told Trump not to go to war with Iran. And by the way, they said that Trump looked at him and said, I know. I know. So in other words, he knew he shouldn't go to war with Iran, but he did it anyway. And that's why I say he's under duress. You know, if all these people were giving him advice not to go to war with Iran, Tulsi Gabbard's one of them, you know, I think that he was pressured into it. I think the oligarchs told him, we're going to kill you unless you go to war with Iran. So, well, all right. Peace out. Stay free. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about that third party for 1 second. Sorry. I got off on a tangent there with it. So what they're saying is if they can just get 10% of the vote, okay, and get some candidates in, or just get 10% of the candidates. Let's get them over the finish line. That then those candidates can hold both parties hostage, just like the Freedom Caucus did, okay, or the Mob Squad or whatever the hell they were called. In other words, you can force the votes on certain things. You just need a few seats in Congress. It's not like they have to take over the majority of the Congress. So let's see if we can get a few of them in there. All right, we need a third party.